Welcome to the Healing Place podcast, a space filled with inspirational stories of hope, along with practical advice for your healing journey. Your host is Teri Wellbrock, trauma warrior, writer, speaker, blogger, therapy dog handler, and founder of the Sammy's Bundles of Hope project. As a survivor and a thriver, Teri's mission is to shine the light of hope into the world by interviewing insightful guests from across the globe. Please stay tuned at the end of today's interview as we honor our sponsors. The Healing Place podcast is a fiscally sponsored project of Fractured Atlas. Now, here's your host and trauma warrior, Teri Wellbrock.
Welcome, everybody, to the Healing Place podcast. I am your host, Teri Wellbrock, and I'm thrilled to have with me today. And I so forgot to make sure I said your name right. So is it Janelle Christa?
Yes, you got it.
All right. Yay. I usually do that beforehand, and I didn't do it. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah. I told you before I hit record that I stalked your website, and I just love the list. Can I read the list that's on there?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, because I love it. So, creator, healer, channel, coach, dreamer, actress, filmmaker and producer, writer, mama, wifey, bio mind hacker, and survivor. And I love it. So, yeah. So,
love the hats.
talk to us about, what it is you're doing in the world.
Well, this last year was really amazing for me. I spent the whole year basically in front of a computer, which doesn't sound that amazing, but I was just writing. I just could not stop writing. I felt so compelled to get all of this stuff out there and out of my body and into the world. And it's really kind of quite interesting now with everything that's happening in the world, because basically all the literature that I wrote last year was all in regards to how to stay grounded, connected, protected, and feel centered when the world is falling apart. And so I felt this really tremendous sense of urgency to get it done. And some of my family members were a little concerned because, I have a history of bipolar. And so everyone's like, oh God, she's losing it. She's manic. She's just writing all these things. But I completed all of them. So that's, it was pretty interesting because I was able to get everything done and just followed that intuition that it was important, that I needed to get it done. And now this year, I'm really working to get that out into the world. So I'm releasing a book. Actually, it just barely went live on my website today called Spiritual Ninja. And that's kind of the first one of this series. And it's really, very foundational work to help people stay protected and feel connected. And so that's kind of like one of the big things that I've been up to recently. And then I'm of course working on my films, and those are also related to consciousness, and but I do it through humor and storytelling. And so it's a healing message, but it's not in a very preachy way or even an action driven way. It's really just for entertainment purposes to kind of open your mind to different ideas.
Yeah, beautiful. And I've been writing a book forever, and I understand the process of just putting your soul out there and just getting it out there into the world. And I love it. And that was one of the things too, that Polarizing Chaos is one of the things that I saw that I really was curious about and wanted to understand. And what you just said kind of resonated with those words. And is that what you're addressing?
Yeah, it is. I grew up in a tremendous amount of chaos. To give a little bit of history, I have 14 siblings. By the time I was 18, they were all half and step adopted, and I was partially adopted. And it was, just a lot of chaos of not really having a sense of feeling really grounded or where do I belong. And then when I was around 12, they didn't diagnose me with bipolar because they don't really do that until you're about 18, but they said, we think she's bipolar. And, through my adolescent years, it really did feel like I was in these two worlds, and in my 20s as well. It was like I had these two worlds, this one side that was just absolutely amazing, and this other side that was just like all I wanted to do was die. And so it was, a lot of healing work to integrate those two worlds. And now what's interesting is I really see that And I saw it in 2016 with the election. It was literally like we were living in these two worlds. It was like, what is real? What is happening? I couldn't grasp it. And I looked around and it seemed like no one could really grasp what's reality. And that's just escalated since then. And so I do feel like I kind of had this, like, I don't know, this experience ahead of time, and so I can kind of see and integrate that into my body and see it is possible to bring those two worlds together. It is possible to feel really, really grounded and secure in yourself and have a sense of belonging in the world, even if it's totally falling to shit, which is happening in such a big way right now. So I feel like I've seen the other side of it, and so I know what's possible. When you do that healing work, you can really bring a lot of beauty into the world, into your world, and get to a point where even if the world ends, I'm okay.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you were singing my song, and I say this so often, and I touched on it a little bit. I tell people often on the podcast to look for, to not even look, but just experience the gifts within the chaos. And I think you had even written finding joy within the chaos. And when I saw those words, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is it. And it's so very true, because if you're willing to go back into the darkness and do the healing work, which is a process, and it can be scary and it can be difficult, but wow, is it worth it to get to that other side?
So worth it in such a big way. And it can be scary and it can be hard, and it can be extremely challenging and take a lot longer than you want it to. Right. And I think the truth is that it's always, and I'm sure you can relate to this, it's always unfolding and expanding. Yeah. And it's like, there's always these aha moments all the time. I don't know if we ever get to a point where we're like 100% always going to be perfect and feel, happy. I don't even know if that's the point, Yeah. It's like really inviting the full spectrum of all the emotions, all the different experiences, and having fun with it, and going like, okay, I don't need to take this so seriously. I can get some space from it, and I can enjoy the process.
I love that. And it's so very true. I used to think, when I was getting ready to write my book, and I started doing speaking engagements, and I thought, I can't stand on a stage and tell people my story, because I'm not fixed yet. I'm not cured. I'm not healed. And then I finally realized at some point along my healing journey, well, that's the beauty, is that I'm still on the healing path, but I can live this life of joy and tranquility while still in the process of healing, because you're right. I just think it's always a lifelong process as we continue to learn.
Yeah. It's not a linear,
Right. Yeah.
It's really not. And it also, I totally get what you're saying, because I used to feel like that too. Like I needed to be this role model or something of what people could aspire to be or whatever. But it was like, actually, that just really disconnects people from you, because then they can't relate,
Right. Yeah. Or like setting, like, well, I can't get to be there. And yeah, exactly. I love it. Just taking a moment to thank a sponsor to the Healing Place podcast, fiscally sponsored project through Fractured Atlas, and for their generous donation this week at the Trauma Warrior level, the Phoenix Fund via Blue Mountain Community Foundation. Thank you. Now back to the show. Beautiful. All right, so talk to us a little bit about, gosh, there's so many things on this list that are just so amazing, and so many wonderful. What's Bio Mind Hacker?
So that is basically, biohacking is kind of working with your body. I'm trying to put this in a simple form, like hacking your body to get peak performance. So that, for me, just to bring it to the basics, is really breath, water, food, exercise, and really working with your habits on those to get a really high in level of peak performance. Oh, and I just forgot a very important one, which is sleep. And really, it's kind of like, for example, with sleep, hacking your sleep cycle, which would be, making sure that you get to bed at the same time every single day, making sure that there's your room temperature is just right, making sure that you're, you got some puppies.
Sorry, my dog has decided to say hello in the background. The whole family's home and the dogs are so confused. Normally they're in here with me. Max has this little co-host chair next to me with his pillow. That's the one who's scream barking. And then Sammy's our therapy dog. She works with kids and usually she's curled up and very quiet. But now because everyone's working from home and our daughter is home from school, the dogs just, they don't know which room to be in. So, sorry.
It's fine. I had to escape to come here to my husband's office because it was way too loud there. So
right. I think that's the beauty of this podcast. I just keep it real because it's like, oh, there the dogs are barking, and there you go.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate that very much.
No problem.
But yeah, so biohacking is just, and it can get more complex. Like I do, freezing treatments for like 3 minutes going in negative 220 degree, basically frozen air to be able to, hack. It's like biohacking, body hacking. And then mind hacking is really working with your subconscious, unconscious, and finding your beliefs and your emotions, and things that are blocking and stuck and trapped within you and stuffed within you, and working to release those. And so you can get a really clear mind. And so you're able to have peak performance. And, it's not peak performance sounds, almost like a masculine, strong, like Tony Robbins type energy. And it can be, but it can also really just be coming from a very level-headed of first principle thinking of, being able to ask yourself, why am I reacting this way? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? And finding what's causing that. And so that you can be your best true self.
Yeah. And I as you said it, I thought, everybody's peak performance is going to be different based upon we're all on our own journeys and where it is we need it or right. So, okay. Very cool. I had not heard of that before, so thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you do courses in coaching, and do you work with general populace? Like, can people reach out and work with you?
Yeah. I work with people all over the whole world. And actually, even before all this stuff happened, a lot of people I work with actually are on the computer, through Zoom.
Yeah.
So I work with people doing coaching, whether it's personal development coaching, or if it's creator coaching, which is kind of helping people, get past there. It's still personal development, really, but I mean, that's really truly what it is, but it's with a primary focus of, I want to get this project done, whether it's a book or a movie or a YouTube channel or whatever, and working with people to help that. And since I am a filmmaker, some people that are here in Santa Barbara or California, I work with actually helping them produce it and everything like that too, which is really fun. And then I have a couple online courses that are on my website. One is the Spiritual Ninja, it's really the full foundation of everything that this first book is on. It's, meditations and worksheets and hypnosis and NLP to basically help people stay grounded, connected, really foundational stuff. And then the other one is called the Harmony Keys. And that is a course that really, kind of going into what we were talking about earlier, really does help you mind hack, in the sense that you go in and you find the emotions that are stuffed in your body, and you work to release them on an energetic level. That's kind of how I got into this whole world. I was working as a healer, and people were coming to me to do that for them. And it got to a point where I was like, I don't want to do this for people. I want people to feel empowered to be able to do this for themselves. So I'm going to teach everybody, all of these skills and put it in a course, and so people can do it for themselves. And it's been really, really awesome to watch that. That's been, really quite miraculous and really, really fun.
Yeah. And I'm so curious, and I love it because I'm that person. As I went along my journey, I started out in therapy with EMDR therapy to process, as you just said, like all of that stored negative energy that had happened in the traumas of my childhood. And then once that started to release, I started researching, I started to use all these alternative Ho'oponopono Hawaiian healing and Reiki and oh my gosh, I'm trying to think, meditation and yoga and nature baths and I mean just all of that and it all became part of this toolbox that I had. And so I love that idea of teaching others. Because there's that sense of control when you're doing it. And you become your own hero, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I don't, I never wanted to be somebody's guru or you know what I mean? Or somebody dependent on me. It actually became when people, it could feel a little bit draining. Like, I don't want you to have to feel like you need me to be able to support yourself. Like, of course I'm 100% always going to be here and I'll be your coach, but I don't want to have to be the one that's doing this for you. Now that being said, like when we're doing coaching, of course, there's lots of different energies that come in and assist.
Right.
But yeah, it's a little bit different of an approach.
Yeah, I love it. Well, yeah, what a gift you're giving to others by empowering them with that. So, yeah.
So, I just want things to be a little easier, like
right.
It just feels like those systems in our world haven't really been super exalted, and revered, and it was really difficult to be able to find all the right processes, and now I feel like, okay, well, let me just try to hack this and make it easier for people. Some cliff notes.
Right. I love it. Yeah, the Cliff Note version. So yeah. So how do people? Is the book available for pre-order yet?
The book actually just went live on my website today. We're working on getting it up on Amazon. With formatting and stuff, it's actually a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be, but that's supposed to be live within a few days.
Okay.
So my website's JannelleChrista.com is my name, and it's with a CH. And yeah, so the book's there, the courses are there too.
Awesome. So for people on audio, will you spell out Jannelle as well?
Yeah, it's JannelChrista.com. Yeah, and I'm on Instagram there too. And I actually just started my own YouTube channel, so that's up. There's hardly any views because I just
right.
But so don't judge me. But yeah.
I got it. I'm still like, I think I have like 237 followers who I just absolutely adore. I mean, there's video views, but it's a process to build it and build that following. And so, I'll go follow you. So.
Yay.
Right. I'll subscribe. I'm sorry. There's followers, subscribers, right?
Right. Exactly.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, I'm thrilled to have this discussion with you. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch upon?
I think, just really basic stuff right now. Like, where's your wallet? Where's your keys? Where's your phone? When you have to leave the house, feeding yourself, getting fresh air if you can. I know a lot of us are locked inside of our homes, but even if that literally means opening the window and putting your head out, to get that air. You've done all the Hawaiian work, so we know that the air is like the breath of God. It's what connects us all, whatever God means to you. And so really getting to the basics as much as you possibly can, I think right now is really going to help people through this crazy process that we're in.
Right.
And, I know that sounds really basic, but that's okay. It's really, really just foundational stuff that people need to be able to focus on. And if we don't, we can get stuck on our devices all day long with radiation, and that's going to not be healthy for us either. So I just can't encourage that enough right now, is just really tuning into the healthy foods, to the healthy vitamins, minerals, whatever you need to do to get the appropriate amount of sleep, feel all your feelings that you're feeling, the positive ones, the more constricting ones, go into gratitude as much as possible, and really try to live from that state. I think that will really be helpful for people.
Yeah, good timing. I just put a post out on Facebook that it was a quote that I found that said, sit with it, sit with it, sit with it. Just feel those feelings, because that healing process is, yeah. Very cool. Well, and I think, and I meant to talk about this a few minutes ago, but when you were saying that you almost felt this drive, right, to write this, and you just wrote and you wrote and you wrote and you wrote, and this inspiration and angel whispers, whatever it is, right? Because how perfect of timing for you to have been working on this, and now this is happening, and it's like this, your message is so needed in the world for what's going on. Because I truly think, in just my opinion, is that we are going to come out of this more connected and more connected to energy in these beautiful sources that so many have tuned out.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're connected and helping others to learn to connect to it.
Well, I feel like it's really, I love that your optimism, and I agree with you. I do think that we have been gifted with this beautiful power to choose, and we can make that choice to make this be a positive evolution, moving forward. And so it can allow us to be better. Yeah,
for sure. For sure. Well, again, it's been an honor to have you here. I love the work you're doing and the light you're shining into the world. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all the work you're doing. And
thanks.
To meet you and your beautiful smile.
Oh, thank you so much. Now, if we could just get to, we had our chat beforehand to the hairdresser. I said, oh my gosh, when I went, I had to like literally blow dry my hair this morning, and I never used the blow dryer. Normally I'm just like, all right, moose and go. Oh, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I'm going to have to use the hairdryer. So I'm ready for this to be over. Well, for most of all, for people to be healthy and just, to be able to go back and connect with others. Because it's just
exactly. But in the meantime, I'm grateful that we have computer screens to be able to.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, everyone, thanks for being here today. And remember, until next time, be gentle with yourself. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening today to the Healing Place podcast with your host and trauma warrior, Teri Wellbrock. If you enjoyed this episode and want to learn more about Teri, her mission, and the Hope for Healing journey, visit Teri's website at www.teriwellbrock.com. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and offering your reviews on our YouTube channel, audio outlets, and Facebook page. And as Teri reminds us, until next time, remember, be gentle with yourself.